Hello, and welcome to the InGeneral podcast, the Jurassic Outpost podcast, episode 111. My name is Caleb Burnett. I am joined with Jayden. What's up, Jayden?
Hello, first potty for 2024. Let's get it.
Woo! Yeah, Happy New Year. And I am also joined with the Sandman, Asees. What's up?
Hello, good to be back. Yeah, first podcast, nice and early in the year, and probably our last one till probably the middle of the year. So, enjoy it while you can, I guess.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. We're just here enjoying some drinks, some smoothies. They're really good. So, anyway,
We don't want them
yeah.
too bumpy though. We want our smoothie smooth.
Exactly. So, Jayden.
Yes.
What Jurassic things did you do? Have you been doing lately? What's your favorite Jurassic?
He's been busy. He's been on
lately?
TV. This guy.
Yeah. Defending Jurassic Park 3 with chest on national TV twice.
The honor of Jurassic Park. Let's talk about that for a second. This guy goes on national TV and decides to rep which Jurassic Park movie of all of them? JP3. My man. This guy gets it.
JP3.
I'm surrounded by JP3
There's
lovers
no one to help
of
you now,
JP3.
Caleb.
Right now.
This is we're turning.
Yeah,
we're talking behind the
taking
scenes. This is
over.
JP3 pod now. That's what I love to hear. No, but go ahead, Jane. I'm very
podcast is
excited to
just-
hear what you got to say.
So that was like very last minute. Pretty much got asked New Year's Day if I could come in to do a news segment. I didn't know I was doing an interview until the morning. I got there at like 5:30 in the morning. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're doing an interview," and I was like, "I am not ready for this." I was like, "It's just after New Year's, few bevies and stuff like that." So I was like, "Alrighty, I gotta put
Still
my
feeling
professional face on." Yeah, but yeah, no, it was good. Second time doing that whole little experience and stuff like that. I love the exhibition; it's amazing. The Ankylosaurus is just beautiful, chef's kiss. Love it. My favorite part. And yeah, I guess we can say that it's moving to Melbourne now.
Yeah.
I won't say the dates or anything because I don't think that's confirmed yet. But yeah, pretty much that was to announce Melbourne. So if there's any Jurassic Outpost fans in Melbourne, I'll probably be down there for the exhibition and stuff like that. So pretty exciting.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah, the exhibition is like it's been going strong for a while now. It just keeps on going, keeps expanding to new places.
Is this the same exhibition that started way back in 2015 that's kind of just been reiterating ever since?
I think it's a couple of different production companies that produce those kinds of shows. One is doing the one in Melbourne and some of the other more international ones, and there's another one that is doing the stuff in the US, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah.
Oh, so different shows. Okay, so there's actually like a little bit of
I think
a difference going on.
Well, I mean, I think they're like very basically the same. It's just like the logistics of having it all over the world, probably. But what were you going to say, Jayden?
The Ankylosaurus is Australia only. So
I didn't know that. Okay.
We don't have the Indominus Rex.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
that's
That's the big difference.
So there's differences, yeah.
So that's what's the difference with the Australia one. We have no Indominus Rex. It's the big Ankylosaurus. And I don't know what else. Do you guys have the Carno?
No, we don't.
Yeah, the Carno is in the US.
Is there a
I
Carnotaurus
believe,
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this exhibition must have changed a lot in terms of, like, maybe not recently, but since I've only seen the one when we first did it in Philadelphia way back in 2015. I think it was April or something, or 2016 or 17, whenever it was back then. And that was impressive. So I wonder if, like, the animatronics have changed at all. Is the Carnotaurus, like, maybe some T-Rex. The T-Rex was different.
like,
is the T-Rex now like the actual T-Rex?
The go ahead, Jay.
99% like the animatronics and stuff, especially for Rexy, like you see her scars and all that stuff. It's pretty nailed
it's
on.
accurate now, eh? I gotta get over there somehow.
That's why I said
flight or something.
The Ankylosaurus, man, that blows my mind. That is just full animatronic. Like, it legit looks like it's in the movie set. Like, it's beautiful.
That's fantastic. Good. No, what was I gonna say? No, the Philadelphia one that was when y'all saw it in Philadelphia 2015, 2016, whenever that was. I saw it in Chicago in 2017, and it also like wasn't the screen accurate
Yeah,
Jurassic
exactly, right?
animatronics. It was older ones, and like I think they refreshed all of them to be screen accurate like I don't know, a couple years after that or something. So like I also need to get back to the exhibition and see these
There's
new
got to be a
dinosaurs.
class field trip at some point. We're like missing out on these
Yeah.
class field trips. Now the world's opened up. Like, what's the way? I guess Universal just has to organize something. I mean, Universal contact us. We'll organize it for you if you know what I mean. But you know what? This makes me wonder. Like, when are we gonna get the refreshed rides? You know what I mean? Like, we've been sitting on these old animatronics, but like Jurassic and Universal, they got the cash, they got the money to refurb those rides. If you're refurbishing the tours and stuff and the expeditions, I mean, can't you just move that team into refurbishing? Like, it's not like it's not been like 10 years, 20. It's been like 20, 30 years since we've seen like a substantial change. You know what I mean? So what's the hold up there? You know what I mean? Like, let's get the ball rolling and start getting this synergy and like common like aesthetic across the franchise, if you know what I mean.
No, that makes sense. Like the common aesthetic thing, and these companies that make the animatronics for the exhibition and for like live tour and stuff, like they make some really cool stuff, and it looks amazing. Um, and so yeah, I mean, I think it'd be awesome if Universal worked with them on rides and experiences and whatever else. I don't know if so. I mean, we can talk about theme parks later if we want to, but like I don't know if the ride in Hollywood has a brand new Indominus animatronic that's only a couple years old. But I don't know if it was like the same company that Universal had worked with before, if it was somebody else. I don't remember the name of the company that made it offhand, but it's awesome. So yeah, the exhibition, it's moving to Melbourne, it's coming to Houston, Texas.
It's in Belgium
Um
as well. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
so
it's in
like
Belgium. I
I
think it's going
I
to Asia soon as well.
yeah, no, I just think it's really cool that like it's all over the world. So
I didn't
like
expect it to
accessible for a lot of
last this
people.
long. You know what I mean? The fact
Mhm.
that I thought when the movies came out, I thought it was like kind of like a promotional thing just to get the in between of the years, just to have like Jurassic World kind of stay relevant. The fact that it's
Mm.
lasted this long and kind of persisted kind of shows like the staying power of the Jurassic World brand, not only the Jurassic Park brand. So that's like it's kind of cool to see. Like despite how you might feel about the movies, you know, like I think our opinions are pretty well known at this point. But despite that, like Jurassic World still bringing in an audience. People still give a shit about dinosaurs. You know what I mean? That's really cool to see, and that just tells me that yeah, even if we don't get movies, we'll always have Jurassic Park somewhere in the zeitgeist, which is awesome. Which is awesome for us, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, the Sydney exhibition was supposed to end in November. It was supposed to go for only September to November, but then they extended it to January. I mean, February 18th now. So it must be doing
Nice.
something right.
Yeah, lots of good merchandise, at the exhibition and all those things too. So
That's the best part. Let's be real. Going to the tours, going to the exhibitions, it's all fun and games. The real like excitement gets to the when you're at the end and you're at the gift shop. And you're like, okay, let's spend some cash. Let's go. Let's get some merch. Let's get some like this
They're
pencil. Let's get this
smart
pen. I
about
don't
it.
know. You know what I mean? Like
They're
this
smart.
lanyard for the one day use, and you're wrapping this sick lanyard, and it's. I love that's like my favorite thing about like LA and the Florida studios. Like I love the gift shops. The whole atmosphere, man. I just feel like I'm in like the Jurassic World gift shop. It's just the coolest feeling. I love it. I'm so jealous of you
absolutely.
guys who get this stuff all the time.
Man, I
Yeah, I know,
when
right?
yeah, when the Jurassic Outfitters opened back up after COVID in LA, I spent way too much money the first time I went back in there. It's like
See,
I
now that
hadn't been
like
in there in a long time and spent way too much. But yeah.
the last time I was in there, I was still in university, so the cash wasn't flowing as nicely as it is now that I'm an adult and making adult money. So it's like I'm an adult. I'm like a big kid making adult money, so I'm just gonna go and spend adult money now inside of Universal and not feel bad about it. And I'm very excited about that prospect. I can't wait to walk out with hundreds of dollars of just Jurassic nonsense. It's gonna be so exciting.
Totally. um
Mugs for the whole family.
yeah. Asees, what Jurassic stuff have you been up to lately? What's your favorite Jurassic thing lately?
What have I been doing? So I got a new over the Christmas break. I got the Oculus Quest 3 while I was at home, and I went back to Jurassic World Aftermath, and it's still, I think, one of the most slept on Jurassic World things we have available to us. I think no one talks about it for some reason because it's so niche and hard to access, even though it's all on the Switch as well now too,
Yeah, I
which
got
is
mine on
also
the
a good
Switch.
port.
It's
I've been playing on the
good.
Switch too because I think
Yeah.
that game is fantastic. It's a bit bare
Yeah.
bones, sure, but Laura Bailey, she's like your other character, I guess, like the one who talks to you on like the thing, and she does a really good performance. The story is really sweet. A lot of cool little Easter eggs for us fans too, and it's like honestly walking in like VR and seeing like the T-Rex or like a dinosaur like up close, and it's just like mind blowing. And then I've also been reading the Ultimate History thing, the Ultimate History guide for the Jurassic Park, the big like thick one that came out not too long ago. I've
Oh
been
yeah.
going through that, and I think it's full of little surprises too. Like I was going through one of the pages, and like the brochure is just there. I'm like, oh, okay, I like this. So I'm like reading it, just getting a little surprise every few pages. So I've been doing that. So it's been nice. What about
Awesome.
yourself, guys?
I'm I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like I'm in a chronological watch through of the Jurassic movies, and
Oh yeah.
all I have left is Dominion. So I might watch it after this. We'll see. But yeah.
I did my six film thing already this year.
Yeah.
Dominion
Alright, the guys, the year's just
Yeah.
started. You guys are already
Yeah,
like
yeah.
check off the box. My annual Jurassics, they're done.
Yeah, no, I rewatched Dominion legit like 4 days ago, like the extended version. That's the only version I watched because the extended version is
You
the
have
only
to. That's
version.
you got
Yeah,
to.
it's-
You got to.
yeah.
I hate. I want to say one thing. I hate the fact that I can't remember which streaming service it is, but in Canada, I think it's on Crave. But whenever you go watch like Dominion on any streaming service, it's always the normal theatrical. I'm like, no,
I
no.
bought it on Prime. I was like, yeah, no, I'm buying it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See,
I
I
bought
have
it.
the movie like in 4 different formats, but none of them are on Prime. And whenever I'm on Prime, I see like buy it. I'm like, no, why? It's so frustrating. It's like get
Nah,
Universal, get on the phone with Universal boys. Tell them get this theatrical crap out of here. Extended cut. That's the way people should watch the movie because it makes the movie better. It honestly does, in my
it
opinion.
does. It
I
really
still
does.
vibe with that movie. I still like it a lot.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's funny that you guys are arguing so strongly for the extended edition, which I love. I actually like.
Easy to say he
Also,
doesn't like it.
I
Watch.
also really like the theatrical version.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think it's just because it reminds me of the experience of seeing it in a movie theater, which is nice.
Yeah.
Does it
But,
help?
like,
Does it help that you know that the extended cut scenes exist and like you already know what kind of happens? Like, do you kind of fill in the blanks almost, and that's why it's easier for you to kind of watch the theatrical experience? If that makes sense, like you don't necessarily need to see them play out in front of you. You know what happened in between. I don't know, like the farm scene or whatever.
It
Oh,
just
yeah,
seems too
well-
messy.
yeah, I mean,
That's what-
I wish like there was one definitive cut and not like three
Yeah.
that fans had to think about. Like, it bugs me that they. I mean, and this is a much longer conversation, maybe, but it bugs me that they changed one of Maisie's lines in the theatrical. I think it's in the extended edition too, but they changed one of Maisie's lines in the release of the movie. Like seeing it in theaters, she says, he knew when she's talking about my grandpa was John Hammond, he knew Lockwood.
yeah,
Like they changed that line on the physical release, but anyway, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm doing that and patiently waiting for this new video game that's coming out sometime called Jurassic Park Survival.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of it.
Have you guys heard of that? Can you tell me
What a pleasant surprise! I just want to say that. What a pleasant surprise! I think this is exactly what we wanted. This is exactly the game. So I got nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about this.
Can you guys tell me about sort of possible release dates, possible retail listings, possible things like that? Let's talk about that.
Well, when was it? Was it yesterday? I sent that thing in.
Mhm.
Apparently, in Europe, in some countries like Czech Republic, Romania, Croatia, and all that jazz, on their websites for the game, it has for December 2024. But normally, that's just a placeholder date. But apparently, some people have seen handmade billboards in Romania for this year for Jurassic Park Survival. So I don't know. I mean, it I don't want to get my hopes up for a 2024 release date because I said in the last podcast I think it'll be 2025. But if they can aim for maybe a November release, I don't know.
Like it
I'd
is
be pretty
doable.
excited.
So like when the trailer came out, they didn't announce a release date or even a window, but the fact that they have pre-alpha footage already tells me that there's been some development already. I know that the boys have posted on Twitter and I think on the site as well that there's been development for at least 12 months or 18 months or something like that, which is not a lot of time to get like a AAA game like off the ground really, but we don't really know the budget of this. Saber Interactive doesn't really do AAA games. They're more in the mid-range budget. Like one of the more recent releases was like the Ash versus the Evil Dead or something, that video game, and then also the World War Z game. I think they developed that in-house, and those were fine games. Unfortunately, I think one of them didn't get the reception they wanted. World War Z had a rocky start, so the fact that Saber Interactive is not only publishing but developing gives me a little bit of hesitation because they haven't really been known to like have that big standout knock out of the park on release day. Like their stuff gets fixed kind of later down the line. But I'm hoping that with this franchise, they have kind of the money now, and like Saber Interactive kind of has the name now, like the name recognition. They're a name in the industry now, so they should be able to pull some good talent. So fingers crossed for this for the thing. But I think 2024 it is possible. I think, but it just depends on how far along they are in their stuff, because they still have to do all the beta testing and all that stuff before they even get close to, I guess, announcing a date. I guess we'll probably get more announcements or hear more about this game in summertime. I think this summer
Yeah, like
around like the
June. Yeah,
awards game season.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's when all like the awards and like other cons and stuff like that happen.
Okay.
So that's probably when we get a more concrete estimate of when it will come out. But I mean, that's pretty
And
interesting
probably, I
to
even say if it is coming out this year, it'd probably we probably even see a gameplay trailer. So like not this CGI heavy thing, but the gameplay at the end,
yeah,
like more gameplay stuff. Like that will be the indicator. Once you kind of see the gameplay trailer, that'll kind of be like, okay, this game is like just around the corner, kind of thing. So we still have a little bit to go. It could be 2025. Take as long as you need, polish it. I want this game to be as good as Alien Isolation. Like that's the bar. Like that's the bar. You got to meet that. Like that game was so good for Alien franchise for fans like us, and like they got to do it. And I think Saber can pull it off. They're very detail oriented for franchises for they have. So I think they'll be able to pull it off in terms of fan reception, but in terms of gameplay and critical reception, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, and we talked about and speculated about possible release dates for Jurassic Park Survival on the Jurassic Outpost YouTube channel. So check out that video if you want to hear a little bit more about that. But December 2024, could be a good Merry Christmas gift to Jurassic fans, maybe, if they
yeah,
were to sort of get it rolling and get it going by then. But yeah.
because it's unusual for games to come out in December. It's always around October, November, like just before Christmas time and
Like the
stuff
big
like that.
games. I will
Yeah,
say
yeah,
though,
yeah.
I think the closest parallel, and like I would be happy if this game came out, this Jurassic Park Survival game. Also, I want to say real quick, shout out to it being Jurassic Park Survivor.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Yeah.
it, right? Nailed it.
yeah.
Perfect, boys. Excellent. Um, but back to what I was saying. What was I saying again? Sorry, boys. I keep getting sidetracked to myself. I always do this.
No,
I'm so
you're fine.
excited. I have to stop myself.
Uh, we were talking about how games come out in October and November and December.
Oh yeah,
Oh yes.
as
So
usual.
I would be perfect. Sorry about that, boys. Thank you
No,
for the
you're
save.
good.
I would be happy if this game came out and it got like a similar reception and was as good as the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game that came out from
He
Ubisoft this
was
year.
reading my mind. That's
Yeah,
exactly
my
what.
man, we're on the same wavelength. It's
Well,
that JP3 energy. We if you
yeah.
like JP3, we're the same. We're the same. So if it's like that, that game got like for fans of the like of the Avatar franchise, it was perfect. All the little Easter eggs, the world was fantastic. So, and that was Ubisoft, which is a AAA
Yeah.
company. They have a lot more money, resources, and manpower. But
That
if
came
it's
out
that
December
good, I'd be
6th as
happy.
well.
Mhm.
It came out in December, so
Yeah,
that's what gives
exactly.
me a
Like
little
a
bit of
couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
confidence. Yeah.
So it's possible. December, it could be possible. Early December, mid December, right before the holidays. There is precedence for like movie themed games coming out that time of year. Sorry, my cat's climbing all over me.
You're fine. Have these like placeholder dates proven accurate in the past for big games like this, or no? Or
I, I've kind of
It's
like
tough to
not
say.
really, yeah, like before like content creation and stuff like that, when I just was playing games, I'd look into release dates and stuff like that and the accuracy of them. But I think just in the last few years, like games are coming out either unpolished or unfinished when they come out and stuff like that. It's just you kind of like lose track of everything now. So it's kind of
And
like
games are
hard to say.
being pushed all the time as they get close. So we could be like a couple months from release, and it can just get kicked a couple more months down
Yeah.
down the line. So it's not like movies where like, oh, I can't wait 2 more weeks till movie date, and then it's like 3 more weeks till release. All of a sudden, it's not like that. But like, I I don't want them to. That's like my biggest concern. Them putting out the unfinished product, which has been happening way too much,
Oh,
especially
too
this
much.
year. Wait, like I was like this is my biggest concern. If a game like Jedi Survivor comes out, game that technically I would have loved, but was released so broken and unpolished that
mm,
it was just not enjoyable. And I'm almost worried that Saber would do that because they have done that once or twice. So it's like not out of the question that they just rush it to meet the deadline because they, at the end of the day, this is a movie based game, right? Like a movie tie-in games, kind of. So it's not going to get the same level of like attention and I guess reverence or something like that. People are just going to dismiss it almost off the bat, though, just based on the title alone. So it's like, you know what I mean? So I feel like they might just kind of just get her out the door. Like the Kong Skull Island game that came out this year. Oh my god, that's like the worst case scenario in terms of movie like tie-in games. That'd be a disaster.
no, that's interesting. I mean, I hope you know they announced the game like the first week of December. And they still haven't said like a hard release date. And maybe it's good. Maybe it means they're sort of like taking their time and making sure that they know what the timeline is and that they're doing this the best way. Because like I'm, I mean, I'm sure maybe you guys agree, but like I'm totally willing to wait until 2025 if it means the game is
Yeah.
finished and great. So yeah.
We should also mention. I should also mention, or I don't know about you, Jayden, but I've noticed that especially this the past couple years, studios are announcing like a game 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, sometimes 5 years before they release. So like this could be like I don't think this is the case, but this could be 2026. Like you know what I mean? Like it could be forever away because games it's not the same timeline as a movie where it's
Yeah.
like pre-production and then from pre-production like a year and a year later you could have a movie. It's not like that usually, but for like a solid game development, from what I have understood.
When
Well,
is
that's the worst case scenario if that happens,
Yes,
2026. Don't
yeah.
let
but
Asees
best
get
case in
you
terms of like
down.
take your time, take your time,
Yeah.
take your time. But I
Yeah.
wish I didn't know. You know what I mean? I wish I didn't know.
When is the next GTA coming out?
2025.
We gotta have Jurassic Park Survival and that in the same year though. Like that's just such an incredible like those two games coming out at the same time. That's amazing.
That's the ideal year for Jack. For our Jack, Jack would love that. That's like the only two games he would need
Yep.
for the rest of his life.
He would never talk on WhatsApp ever again.
Yeah,
Or anywhere else.
Yeah.
yeah, he'll be a GTA or Jurassic Park. That's pretty much the two places you'll find him. You
Yeah.
gotta meet him online.
Yeah.
I'm excited about
Um
this though. I hope there's some sort of like
absolutely.
multiplayer element as well because Saber Interactive, they're known to have a lot of multiplayer elements in their games, almost like exclusive. Like I want to say very multiplayer heavy output. So I wonder if there's going to be some sort of I mean, have they said if this is a linear story-based game? Have they said that?
I
'Cause I hope it's not like you know what I mean, like one of those Dead by Daylight situations where it's a four-player co-op game only,
They've
yeah.
where you
said
have to
that
escape
they've
certain things.
like there's talk like all their PR and descriptions and stuff. There's talk about like exploring all of Isla, fully realized Isla Nublar, and like exploring the entire island and doing things like that. So like it seems open world is sort of a mindset that they have, but
That's
all
what I'm
like it
wondering.
could. I don't know.
My big thing, since we are talking, it's very JP survival based.
Yeah.
Do you think? And I would on it because what I do and stuff like that with multiplayer games, I'd love it to be multiplayer. I just don't know how they would make it good, unless they make it something like. Did you guys ever make? Did you guys ever play something called Evolved when like the Xbox One first came out?
Yeah,
Where
Evolve. Yeah,
like it was
the hunting game. Yeah.
like four guys like versus like a massive monster thing and stuff like that. Like maybe that
Mhm.
could be it. Like you work together and stuff like that, or maybe something like Path. Oh, what was that game? Was that dinosaur game that came out last year? I think me and you spoke about it, Aziz. That dinosaur game on Steam where like you go through like waves of dinosaurs and then at the end like it goes into like a PvP thing.
Oh, Exoprimal.
Yeah, Exoprimal. Like I don't know, like they could do something like that. But yeah, I just don't know how you can implement dinosaurs and PvP and stuff like that. It will be cool, but I think that's the only way you can kind of do it. But I don't know with the meta of like multiplayer games and stuff like that. I just don't know if it'll be a big draw. But I
Mhm.
hopefully. But I'd rather them just stick with the campaign and then kind of add multiplayer later and not just
You guys
rush
remember
everything.
what's that game that was kind of doing this before? I think it's called Death Ground or Dead Ground. Is that it's like that game that was an indie developed game? It's
Death
like
Yeah,
Ground. Yeah.
yeah. I wonder how they feel after all this. Like, oh come on! Like all of a sudden Jurassic Park is not doing the
yeah,
game that we kind
yeah.
of wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's a kick in the nuts almost.
My thing as well with Jurassic Park Survival, and I'm sorry that I keep talking about this, but
No, keep
universe,
talking.
the universe, like, because you could easily do like a Lost World and then a JP3 like adaptation
You
of the
can
game
do a
and stuff like
lot,
that.
but the
So
problem
do you,
with
Yeah.
this is,
do
oh, go
you
ahead.
reckon
Sorry, I
that?
don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, no. My thing is, would they make it DLC based or like expansion based, or would they do completely new games? Because that would also that would also do something with the multiplayer then,
So
if
I think
that's
the
the
template
case.
here should be Alien Isolation. I think they got to follow that template because what Sega did with that and Creative Assembly, what they did with that was perfect. So they had the base game come out, which is the story, like the story game, like the
Yeah,
linear. And then the DLCs that came out were more like arcadey and like more loosey goosey. Like one DLC that came out was like literally you had to play as Ripley and try to escape the Nostromo before it goes off. I think another one's like crew members or something about the original crew. You can like pick any one of the original crew and you can try to escape with them. So like there's like maybe the possibility of putting like Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler as like DLC characters and have them escape a mission like during the movie or something, or like you know what I mean. You can almost
yeah,
do whatever you want, or have like a DLC for Isla Sorna. Here's a Site B thing. You got to escape during the hurricane. This is a $30 DLC that comes out a year later. Something like that. That could be a possibility, which would be so sick.
yeah. Because I think that's like the next big thing that is on my mind is that if it is a success, this could go really well in the sense of the Jurassic Park universe and just yeah, like I said, Lost World. Like imagine that as a video game like that.
Do we think? I just had this thought now. Do we think now that they're? I was almost worried that we wouldn't ever see Jurassic Park again while Jurassic World stuff was running. Do we think that Jurassic World will now be almost I don't want to say aimed at kids, but like aimed at the younger stuff, like with all the Lego Jurassic Worlds, Camp Cretaceous stuff, Chaos Theory being a cartoon, and so Jurassic World kind of exists as like the younger stuff, and then Jurassic
Ooh.
Park is kind of like the mature stuff because the kids who grew up with Jurassic Park, they're like older now and they have kids, and those kids have watched Jurassic Park probably more than Jurassic World. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
wonder if this is now starting to be like Universal's distinction, like Jurassic Park will be kind of the darker mature stuff, not necessarily the thing like rated R and for mature stuff, but like some of the more grittier violence. Like you got
yeah,
to do
like the
violence in this
glorious
game. You know
stuff
what I
and stuff
mean?
like yeah.
Yeah. and then Jurassic World is the kind of cleaner stuff, almost like for the kids. I wonder if that's kind of how they're going to do this now.
That's a good point, to be honest. Like
that's
that's
an
the first
interesting
time I
thought.
thought about that.
Yeah.
Because the way what you just said makes a lot of sense with the way direction of the way Jurassic World's going
Because
and the way
Jurassic
that
Park just
was.
coming out seems kind of out of the blue because it's not the 30th anniversary. 30th anniversary wasn't like the biggest thing as well, so it's not like people are clamoring for Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of out of the blue. That's not Jurassic World Survivor. Like it could have so easily have been Jurassic World Survivor. The fact that it's not is making me think like, okay, maybe Jurassic Park is kind of like making a comeback because maybe Jurassic Park 30th was maybe not huge, but like just strong enough for them to be like, okay, there is like a solid interest in like the Jurassic Park only stuff, and maybe we start seeing some more of this.
Well, not to get ourselves in trouble or get myself in trouble, but there is still Jurassic Park 30 campaigns happening this year. I feel,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, I feel like we're celebrating Jurassic Park 30th anniversary this year rather than last year.
I
But
think
that's just
Interesting.
what I.
I personally will be celebrating JP30 until this June because I started last June and I'm gonna carry it through for the year until this June.
Okay.
But
Well,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Jaden's probably heard some stuff on the streets, some rumblings.
I
He's keeping his ears to the ground.
yeah, I can't talk about it. I wish I could, but I
Hot goss. I love hot goss.
If I speak, I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble. But
hot
yeah.
dino goss. What
Yeah,
you were saying? No, go ahead, Jade.
yeah, no. So what I've heard and from what is happening, I guess, behind the scenes with Jurassic Outpost as well, it feels like this year, because other, I guess, companies saw that it was the 30th anniversary last year, they kind of want to continue it on for this
This
year.
is so Jurassic Park.
But yeah, all I would say is that I think that this year is probably like the year where you kind of see a lot more appreciation towards the 30th anniversary rather than last year.
That
Interesting.
maybe the release date for the game does kind of like cap off that whole thing, and like that's the big kaboom for the 30th anniversary. It's like, here, you want Jurassic Park? Go play it. There you go.
Yeah,
You're in.
Yeah.
Go
and
in it.
honestly, that we're happy with that. I'm
I'm happy with that. As
Um,
long as the game's
yeah.
ready.
Yeah, no, Asees, I think what you were saying about like World and Park and who they're marketed to and intended for, like, I think that is an interesting point, and I think it like brings up the whole franchise management conversation again because like
yeah,
you know, my thought about what you said is that like I mean, having Jurassic Park do Jurassic Park things and having Jurassic World do Jurassic World things, and but like also I hope they sort of like tie them together well in ways that make sense so that like we can all be together as
and
Jurassic
enjoy it
fans, but like
together. Yeah.
but like we're I think we're at, you know, from a fan perspective, I think we're at such an interesting point in this franchise as far as like what's going on with it, because like we have a trilogy of movies that just came out that are Jurassic World and stuff that's continuing off of that storyline, and all of that is built off of a trilogy of movies that came out 30 years ago that's called Jurassic Park. And so like and all of this is happening at the same time when we're getting a video game based on the park side and we're getting movies and a series on the world side. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we can balance it out with a Jurassic Park. Maybe something else Jurassic Park is coming that's serious and cool and a big deal. Just to sort of balance the scales. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I feel like if there was gonna be something else for Jurassic Park, if like we're still talking about like the different, I guess, franchises managed by different people, like Jurassic World and then Jurassic Park, I think the only thing you could do Jurassic Park is like an actual series
Yeah.
of just sauna and just between 3 and World, like all that. I think that's the only thing you can really do to, I guess, cap off the Jurassic Park franchise and still make it and cater to like the older audience and stuff like that, and then give lore and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just the only way I can kind of see it if they want to still pay homage to the Jurassic Park series and to those 3 movies.
Yeah,
As well
and I
as
mean, yeah, to what Asees was saying a minute ago too, like I'm just like this at the end of the day it just makes me happy that like Jurassic is still around and doing so much, and like that's a good thing in general. But yeah.
I think
Remember the
Aziz,
last down
honestly,
period?
like he kind of
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I do.
The last down
sadly.
period we had, boys, was
The
brutal.
15 years.
Yeah, the fact that we're actually getting like a little bit of we got like a show, kind of 2 shows if you think about it, like the end of the last show and then a new show coming out, a new games coming out. Like this is a much better timeline to be in terms of waiting for movies. Like last time was brutal. I was a kid. I was hurting, dude. The only reason this thing still
Yes.
exists is because of the timeline of having nothing. We needed something, so we just found each other and started talking. We needed
Yeah,
something.
that's pretty
Yes.
much yeah. That's all that happened. I mean, yeah, I was born in 1999, so Jurassic Park 3 is all I watched, and then I was like, okay, let's watch all the other ones on repeat. And it just that's what everyone I guess did until like 2015.
That's perfect.
Yes. No,
But, yeah.
that is exactly what everyone did until 2015. They watched Jurassic Park 3, and they if they were me, they went to Google every day and typed in Jurassic Park 4 when.
It's
That's
like
exactly
searching
it.
up like Super Saiyan 6 or like Xbox 720, like random stuff. And all that
Xbox
stuff.
720.
Yeah, like Jurassic Park 4, humans
Yes.
and dinosaurs as one.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
man,
that
it
stuff.
was like
I remember that stuff in real time. I remember being a
hybridized.
kid and being
Yeah.
like, "What is going on?" I'm like, "Okay, sure, let's do it." I guess I do. I remember. I Caleb, I'm so like that's interesting that you did the same stuff. Like I remember being like, at one time I watched the end of Jurassic Park 3. The Pteranodons were flying away. I went to the internet, like to Jurassic Park 4, and there was like a rumor or something, like they were filming something on the lot. I was like, "Whoa!" And my head exploded, and I went to Jack and started talking like, "Dude, what is this?" And we're like, "Is this real?" And we started digging, and yeah, the next thing led to another. Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah, there is a video out there somewhere, YouTube or somewhere, of at Universal Studios Hollywood. They have like a giant slate near the studio tour that says like what's filming on the backlot that day or that
That's the
week
one.
or whatever. And there's a video out there of someone like filming that slate, and it has Jurassic Park 4 on it. And the video's from like 2000 something, before Jurassic World.
Yeah.
So but like I don't know. I don't know the full
Wasn't it
story
around,
there,
like,
but
2006 and like 2008, like around that
probably,
period, I
yeah.
think. I remember because I
Yeah, it was
remember
like
even watching
2008,
like Jurassic
2009
Outpost in
maybe.
high school.
But now that
and
we've
I'm
connected the dots, now that everything's kind of like finished, maybe that remember that teaser thing they filmed a long time ago, way back, that pitch trailer. Maybe that was Jurassic Park 4. I don't know. Maybe that's what we
with the
saw.
the
Yeah.
quets.
Yeah, that
Is that the
maybe
one you're
maybe
talking
that
about?
was the thing we
Yeah.
saw. Yeah, maybe because they're not gonna just mess around with Jurassic Park 4. That was a different time back then too. Jurassic Park 4 wasn't being touched like it was. Remember? Do you guys remember when Jurassic Park was kind of in this weird state where it was like kind of taboo almost? Like it's like, oh, Jurassic Park, like Jurassic Park 4. Ooh, remember
Yeah,
that?
vaguely.
Yeah.
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 That was wild.
Yeah.
And so I
be
mean,
happy that you were in this good
you know,
timeline now.
yeah, we're in this time where Jurassic Park is at the forefront of pop culture. and
Literally
it's
a
very
$1 billion franchise.
beloved
Universal's number
and-
one.
Yeah, it's $1 billion,
Yeah.
multiple $1 billion franchise.
It is the face of pop culture, because even in Australia, like EB Games and stuff like that, for the past, since the 30th anniversary, it's just been Jurassic Park galore. Like, just have this, have that. It's like Oprah in EB Games here. It's just a bunch of
I love
Jurassic, and
that.
I love it. I love it. I really do, because I've never seen. I think even Jurassic World wasn't big here in Australia at all. Like, no toys in Australia, nothing. It was only until like Fallen Kingdom came out, that's when you started seeing merchandise, which is so weird. But Yeah, and it was, but like in Australia from 2000 to 2015, nothing Jurassic Park in Australia. You couldn't find anything, not even a shirt. Now you go into a Kmart and stuff like that, or a Big
Everywhere.
W, and it's just, oh yeah,
Yeah,
a Jurassic
yeah.
shirt, cool.
No,
Mhm.
I think I kind of remember what you're talking about a little bit, Jayden, because like after a 15-year gap of like the reputation of Jurassic Park sort of shifting and like there's no movies, there's no nothing, and then all of a sudden Jurassic World is here, and it's I think people like us maybe were like happy that there was more Jurassic and like
Yeah,
people liked the movie or they didn't or whatever, but like I think people had to like reintroduce the pop culture and audiences had to like reintroduce themselves to Jurassic a little bit, and then like I don't know, I feel like as Fallen Kingdom came around and everything else, it just got bigger and bigger, but
Mhm.
yeah, no, I don't. There's obviously not going to be a 15-year gap this time, so.
no,
God, I
thank
hope not.
God.
You never know,
So,
though. That's the thing. Like, they're probably working, but they're probably
yeah.
working on something at this point, right? They have to be. I mean, because Fast and Furious is wrapping up. Oppenheimer is not a franchise. I hope not. Uh, like they gotta mix. You know what I mean? Like they gotta have some sort of moneymaker. So like they gotta start getting the wheels rolling again. It's been a bit of a quiet spell in terms of movie news, but I'm ready for a
Well,
new movie
Universal
soon.
can
You know what
do
I
a
mean? I wouldn't
Minions.
mind a new Jurassic Park movie, a little bit of a scaled down budget, and see what they can kind of do with I don't know, putting the creativity forefront and trying to do stuff with the limited budget, kind of how Spielberg did it. It's where the creativity kind of comes into play. Kind of tied behind her back a little bit. So I want to see what they can do with that. And smaller budget means bigger returns for Universal. So I'm hoping that's kind of the way they go. I'm ready for
Well,
some more.
I
Yeah.
feel like Dominion was probably the movie out of the six that did leave a lot out there in the open for like audiences to, okay, so this person like Sonia, she's out and about. Okay, there's Ramsey, what's he gonna do now? There's like all these different avenues that they can go towards in the future. There's the dinosaurs at Bios and stuff like that. How'd they get the Rexes? Blah blah blah. There's still the Manticorp Island. Whatever's gonna happen with that, if they want to make that more canon than what it is. But I feel like there's a lot of more avenues now to do something for the future than what there was before.
Oh
If that
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. Cool.
And you are exactly right. And speaking of that kind of thing, there's a Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous sequel series coming in 2024 called Jurassic World Chaos Theory.
Oh yeah, that's this
Um,
year. Where are we?
we are in the year of Chaos Theory now.
The
So
year of
happy
the
New Year.
chaos theory.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, let's talk about Jurassic World Chaos Theory a little bit.
I still gotta finish season 5. I started it. I've started it twice now, I think, and I just get through the first 3 or 4, and I'm like, you know what? It's not for me, and I just
Have fun. Have fun.
I'm gonna get through it. If Camp Cretaceous is good, then I'll get through it. I'll work my way through it again.
I would say that season 5 is worth finishing. That's what I would say. I enjoyed some of the choices.
The characters make it worth it.
Yeah.
If that
That's
makes sense.
we'll talk about that a little bit later as well, and
Yeah.
I'll touch on the better aspect of what I saw in season 5 at least. I'll touch on that later on.
It's not as bonkers wild as season 4. So
See,
Yeah.
so that was the thing. Like
they
this
turned
is
the
also why I'm
dial
not
back a
excited.
little bit.
This is why I'm not excited about where Camp Cretaceous is necessarily going. Even with the name, Chaos Theory. The name itself implies almost. I mean, it almost lends itself to allow you to imagine that's going to be more wacky, more chaotic. Because if you remember the Chaos Effect line from like the '90s, holy moly, good colors. I like the colors, but it was wild designs, mixtures of hybrids. So I'm wondering if we're going down this route again. It's like we
Yeah.
have to go. Like, how many times we got to do hybrids? We've done it 5-6 times now. Like, we don't need to do it anymore. It's kind of a used idea now at this point. Let's see some dino-human
Rex
soldiers.
was the best way to kind of end it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Scorpius Rex was awesome. I think my thoughts there are like I think Universal and Jurassic World, like as a brand, and like things they put on social media and like content they put out around films and promos and stuff, they love Ian Malcolm and they love everything he has to say. And they love Jeff Goldblum, which is great because I do too. But like, I think to me, when I hear Jurassic World Chaos Theory, I'm like, oh, they're quoting Ian Malcolm there, which is great from like a Jurassic standpoint. But like, also, I think they're trying to like play to that whole everybody loves Ian Malcolm, everybody loves Jeff Goldblum thing, because like everybody knows the whole Chaos Theory thing with him. But I don't know. No, I hope that like it seems like Chaos Theory is going to be set in North America, like sort of after the events of Fallen Kingdom. So I hope maybe that'll restrain some of the more wacky things that might happen. But I don't know.
Do we have any sort of log line about what this show is about? Like, do we have any plot synopsis or anything? Because all I've seen from the like, what? Also, I want to talk to you guys later about the disaster that you guys were talking about. Is it just a trailer mishap or like that weird zoomed in, zoomed out thing? Is that what you guys were talking about?
No, I'm what I was talking about was and
are we allowed to talk?
well, it's I will
Oh, it's behind the scenes. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
I will keep this a short story, but no, the Jurassic World Chaos Theory trailer leaked by accident, and I don't know whose accident that was, but that's what I was talking about, and that was the whole thing. And it's in the past. It's in the past now.
It's in the past
later, just because I don't want to. I don't.
Where were you? Because Twitter went into a meltdown. Like
it was.
Yeah, I don't know where I was.
It was a
WhatsApp group was going off.
It was like, a thing. Yeah, it was. It was quite a conversation, and maybe we should talk about that off air. But the whole details there
wasn't us. Our hands are clean. Good.
Anyway, Jurassic World Chaos Theory. Jayden, you mentioned you wanted to talk about who might return in Chaos Theory.
Yeah. So as Asees said, like what's the plot and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I was looking that up too. Do you have it?
I don't have it, but I'd like to assume it's the lead up to Dominion. Like, so how did the Atrociraptors, that whole storyline, Sonya? Because I'm pretty sure in one of the Jurassic Outpost videos as well, we have the confirmation of the dinosaurs in Chaos Theory as well. Mm-hmm. And the Atrociraptors are confirmed. So I would like to believe we get a backstory on that and stuff like that. So I would assume that it's between the end of Fallen Kingdom to Dominion and how all that stuff leads up. My big thing is that if we see Henry Wu again, and if he knows about Daniel Kahn, which is Kenji's dad, because Kenji's dad after the end of do you mind if, because you haven't finished Game Cretaceous yet?
I know what happens, my boys. Don't worry. Spoilers for whoever hasn't finished it.
Okay, so spoilers alert. Wee woo. Spoiler alert for season 5 Game Cretaceous. Kenji's dad, he goes and gets some milk behind bars. He gets locked up. So I wonder if like Henry Wu knows about that, because obviously in Dominion they talk about the chips and stuff like that. Daniel Kahn owned the company that made it, and obviously we don't know how. Or do we know how Henry Wu and Dodson really kind of started working together? So that's why.
Not fully.
Yeah, so that's why I'd assume he might make an appearance, because he's already made an appearance in Game of Cretaceous before. And he kind of... I also would like to see the character development, because even in Game of Cretaceous, like, you kind of could see that Dr. Wu was very egotistical and stuff like that. And then when he's talking to Brooklyn, and then she was talking to him about the dinosaurs, you kind of like saw like he kind of like realized what he was doing. And then the whole redemption arc in Dominion was him like redeeming himself. So I want to see how he kind of like fully switches and stuff like that. So
yeah. I totally agree. I was just gonna read what the description of the Jurassic World Chaos Theory trailer is, and it says, "After the park has closed, after the kingdom has fallen, a new era of chaos begins. Jurassic World Chaos Theory coming to Netflix in 2024." So that's not totally a log line or a summary or anything, but like in between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So
Perfect. Let's rock and roll. I mean, I guess I'll watch it. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the thing. I need a little bit more because, like I said earlier in the podcast, like this is more geared towards kids. Adults can obviously watch it. It's like Star Wars, like the cartoon stuff. But yeah, it's just like the tone that season 4 and 5 were. It's just not for me. So it's like I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let other guys like you guys. If you guys say it's good and like it's quality Jurassic content, like I think season 2 or something.
Season 3
Season
of
2 was
Cretaceous was
yeah one yeah. See, I think it was season 3. Yeah, one of the
season
seasons
3
was
was
really
beautiful.
solid, like absolutely
Yeah.
solid. If it's something like that, yeah, you got me back on board. But season 4 and 5 especially just lost me. But which was the season with the robot dogs?
that was 4.
That was 4
And
Oh
5.
boy!
and 5.
Well,
5 was
I
more
never finished
Brad's
5.
though, the Brad X's or something like that.
Unauthorized
Did they-
life form detected.
Did
Yeah.
they end up killing the Spinosaur?
No.
No,
No.
it runs off, I believe.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, unexpected.
yeah.
I would think they would. I don't know why there seems to be like some sort of hate going on for the Spino in the franchise.
It's
these
just
days. I don't know what's going
JP3,
on.
bro. You know how many DMs I got because I said I love JP3 on national TV? Everyone's like, oh, how dare you say JP3? But,
Let the tears flow. It fuels me. I love it.
The
Cry
guy,
harder.
Yeah, we're used to this.
the person who animated the Spinosaurus in Camp Cretaceous posted some stuff about animating it on Twitter the other day. So shout out to them because that was really cool.
Shout out to
I
them.
don't. Yeah. No, Spinosaurus is underrated. That's what I will say.
Thank you.
But
I feel like whenever someone attacks JP3, it's like a personal assault. Whenever someone says thank you, it's like someone like says, "Hey, your kid did really well in soccer today." I'm like, "Thank you. I'll let him know."
and Spinosaurus.
Intro up his
I mean,
Stephanie.
we're going on a Spinosaurus tangent here, but Spinosaurus is one
Yes,
of
sir.
Mattel's best Jurassic toys. They've made some cool
Yeah.
Spinosaurs.
I agree with that. Man, whenever I talk to any one of the boys on the podcast, each one of them can like just turn around and pull like the biggest or like the sickest things, sickest Jurassic Park stuff.
Here's my.
See,
Yeah,
everyone.
for those listening to the podcast, Jayden
He's on
is
Kyle's
holding
I'm
up
showing
his.
my
Jayden is
Spino.
holding up his Camp Cretaceous Mattel Spinosaurus. I'm holding up a Hammond collection.
It does look pretty quality.
Ankylosaurus.
Like, I do like the way it looks. Like I don't like that specific paint job compared to I think the classic one they released or something.
Yeah.
That one is pretty prime. Pretty
Yeah.
expensive on the eBay market though. I missed it the original time it came out. I feel like
I missed it
feel
also.
pulled
It
it
is
on-
it is very expensive to try and get.
Mhm. I've been looking
have
at
you
getting back some Lego sets, and those are just out of the question now. Like, no Jurassic World Lego
Yeah.
sets, forget about it. The Indominus
Dude.
one I used to have, mm-mm.
The Hammond collection Kano is like $200 here if you want to get it.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not sold. Like the Hammond collection kind of died off towards the end of last year, so they wasn't selling in retail stores anymore.
my
in
guy,
Australia.
that's a toy.
guy.
That's $200.
Yeah,
I
No
mean,
way.
This
on
is
Amazon.
This
It's sick, but it's not $200 sick.
I don't know, man. That's a clean Kano.
the Hammond collection Carnotaurus is one of maybe the best. And this is just my opinion, but like it's maybe the best Mattel
Yeah.
Jurassic toy that they have ever made. Like
that and the
Detail, even from here, is
Ankylosaurus.
unreal.
Yeah, the
It's-
Ankylosaurus as well is really like. I need to
yeah,
get
it's
those
it's
at
just
least.
it's really great. But
Shout out to Mattel for giving us the good quality stuff after what Hasbro did to us.
yes, absolutely. Shout out to Mattel. Shout out to all the folks at Mattel who are really cool and love Jurassic and
Still producing
making
good
toys.
stuff.
I don't know about like here in the US, the Carno was 40 something, I think. So I don't know if I knowing myself, I probably would pay $200 for it. But like,
It's only a matter of time.
yeah,
It's getting to it. I keep checking the shops. I'm like, because we don't even have Hammond. Like the shops are kind of dying out here when it comes to Jurassic. Like there's, you got a few of the captive eggs. That's it. That's all you get here.
Those are everywhere still, man.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no more Hammond collection and shit like that. So
Canada never even got a lot of the stuff. That's the problem with Canada. That's why I kind of stopped collecting any of the Jurassic stuff. Was like there's so many Target exclusives and like exclusives that were America only, or like the W and Australia or something.
Yeah,
I was
Big
like,
W. Yeah.
at that point, I was like, you know what? No more collecting. I'm just gonna get like the super premium stuff now, like the really really like expensive sets, like
Like
one
figure.
every couple of years. Like
Yeah.
the next one I'm gonna get is gonna be the 1-to-1 baby blue. One day someone's gonna put it on eBay.
Ooh.
I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's up next in the collection. I need that. I need it.
Big W stands for Big Australia,
We know.
right?
Yeah. I don't know what the W stands for, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a vibe. I guess it's kind of like a Target. We have Target here, but it is like
Oh,
a
okay.
Target.
I didn't know it
It's
was
pretty
like
much.
comparable to that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, no, it's exactly like a Target. We have a Target here as well, but they've kind of started closing down here. But
Okay.
yeah, Big W is pretty much a Target.
Well,
So, yeah.
on the subject of Carnotaurus was in Camp Cretaceous, and we were talking about chaos theory a second
Oh yeah,
ago.
Because I still have
That's
one
so
more
tangent.
point.
No
I still
segue.
have one more point. Because I don't know what characters are going to come back from Camp Cretaceous. Because in my opinion, and I hope no one gets mad at me, but I don't know how Yaz and Sammy come into it. I feel like their story is kind of like done. To me, I don't know what else they can add besides like, oh yeah, like besides like a cameo on like a
Yeah.
voice call or something like that. Because
No,
now that they're back, they're living their life.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be very interested to see like if all of the campers are involved, like how they justify bringing them back and doing things like that. I mean,
Kenji, I could see coming back.
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate because like Jenna Ortega is super busy now because she's a big movie
Oh
star,
yeah, talk about
which is awesome.
what a pull that they got early days.
Yeah,
Early days
that's
Jenna
very
Ortega,
true.
rough.
That's very true. Yeah. But like she's a super busy movie star now, which is great. But like I mean, I could totally see a justification for Brooklyn being around and investigating
That's an
Lockwood.
expensive cameo. They gotta pay the
Exactly.
dinosaurs too. That's the thing. The dinosaur salary, that's expensive, bro. Can't
That's
be affording
Universal's
no
budget
Jenna
on
Ortega.
Yeah. No, I
But,
mean,
that'd be really
what I'm
smart,
saying.
though.
No, what I mean though is that like I think she makes a lot of sense to like have fully involved in every episode, and I don't know how possible that will be with how popular Jen Ortega is.
Well,
Dude, you could have like set it like imagine like a Brooklyn. She becomes a documentarian. She starts documenting the dinosaurs and their habitats or something. I don't know, like something along those lines. Jen Ortega, the star. That's how Universal gets the kids back into the Jurassic.
At the end of season 5, she was on like one of the first people to find out about the Lockwood thing.
Yeah.
So she was on top of it. So that's what happened. Yeah. So
You will.
Sorry,
she could.
Asees,
probably
I think
recast though.
You will enjoy perhaps like
the end,
the ties to the films, the ties to the films at the end of Camp Cretaceous season 5 were like very cool. They did a good job. So
okay, I'll check that out at some point. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I seen the Kenji and Darius ending, like how they're all
they
live
together and stuff like that.
I've seen that ending.
So,
that's a cool ending.
So and Ben he decided to stay at Manticorp Island with what's the scientist's name who I really liked? She's probably one of the best characters that they introduced in Camp Cretaceous.
Oh yeah, she gets mauled by a raptor. I was surprised they showed that.
Yeah,
that was good.
What's her name?
I don't remember.
Doctor something. But yeah, she's really good. I would like to see her live action, like a adaptation. I think she brought a lot. But so Ben stayed with her at the island because Bumpy and shit like that.
May Turner.
Dr. May Turner. Yeah. So my question is because Brooklyn and Kenji are in a relationship, how does that? I wonder how that is in Chaos Theory, because she's doing her thing. I assume
they're doing the long distance thing.
Yeah.
The phone call.
Yeah.
That's the cameo.
So there's that. But yeah, so I wonder how they're gonna do that relationship. As well as that, the big thing is Daniel Kahn. I wonder what they're gonna do with him, if they're gonna touch base about him or if they're just gonna say, yeah, no, he's in prison. Like that's it.
I think that's done. I think they might. I don't even know what type of villain. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think they're not going to touch Daniel Khan. I think they're going to go down the Dominion route. We're going to go explore that whole Sonya, whatever her name was again, and then the Velociraptor stuff. And those guys will be kind
Yeah,
of the villains. That whole
Yeah,
side of stuff.
I mean, the writing in Camp Cretaceous was fairly clever as far as like little Easter eggs and references and stuff. And so
yeah.
I feel like maybe they'll like mention it. I mean, if Kenji's around, which he probably will be, they'll probably mention something about it. But yeah,
Do you think, because at the end of Game Cretaceous as well, this is just another theory because it just came into my head. So I'm very sorry, Aziz, because I'm just spoiling season 5
No,
for you.
it's all good, dude. Trust me. It's all
But
good.
we saw Darius talk at a Dr. Grant seminar thing at the end.
hmm
Do you think Bison, I don't know, maybe recruit Darius to work with them? And that's how he tells them about
now there's a twist, Jayden.
But like
That's interesting.
but because he's so naive, he doesn't know that they're actually bad.
Yeah, I mean,
But like,
that would
and that's why
be.
he.
I
What a
hadn't thought about
theory!
that kind of thing at all. That's interesting. That's really
I
interesting.
Yeah.
wonder if they're
But
priming
like,
him to be kind of like the next lead of the franchise.
well, he's like real life. Like I forget his actual name, but he looks exactly like they. The thing with the Cam Cretaceous is that all their characters look like their real life adaptation. So if they wanted to bring them into live action, they could. Jenna Ortega, all you have to do is put a pink wig on her, and then you're sweet. If you wanted
Or
to
she
do
just
that.
dyed her hair black today. You know what I mean? She's
Yeah,
natural black hair.
but yeah, like that's because I feel like that's the one thing they kind of have to address is how do they change the Neuralink thing in the dinosaurs' brains because they made it less harmful in Dominion than what it was in season 5 and 4, where it was like controlled on this controller thing and all
Yeah.
that.
So
So that's one thing I feel like they should explain, but I don't know.
Darius's voice actor's name's Paul McKell Williams. And I mean, seems like an awesome guy. He would be awesome if this ever went live action, if it ever went that route. But
Yeah,
what you're saying about all the voice actors playing their characters, it could be really cool. So
It's not out of the question too, especially with what Star Wars has shown that you can kind of bounce in between the two mediums now with the characters. So like I honestly expect at some point that we will see these animated cartoon characters eventually hop into the either the cameo aspect or either lead the franchise or whatever. I like Darius, that's the type of character that should have been leading the franchise, like someone who like cares about the dinosaurs. Who's like, we followed him grow up. Now we've like grown up with him. The kids who've watched it, you know what I mean. So like when he's like in the movies, they'll like take their kids to go see it. Perfect programming. But how
I
Universal wants to.
I was a bit disappointed that Darius wasn't name dropped at all, like in Dominion. I feel like something about the kids surviving or something like that. Just a little nod.
yeah,
feel like
I
should
hope
have-
I hope maybe like, and I have a whole rant about this, but like I hope maybe Universal is looking at the franchise models of Star Wars and other things like that go between animation and live action and bring characters between animation and live action and like do a good job with that. But like,
I hope
I don't know.
Universal have been looking at Monarch. To be honest,
Monarch.
I finished Monarch yesterday, and that was No.
Have you
Talk
watched?
about a disappointment.
Oh, you didn't like it, Asees?
No way,
Oh.
dude. I haven't even watched the last episode. I don't think I care. Like, it's so boring, dude. The drama. Oh, get
That's
out of here,
interesting. That's interesting.
I
I mean,
thought it was pretty good.
I've really enjoyed it.
Oh, boys.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Okay,
Well,
that's interesting. You guys thought
yeah,
okay, this is interesting. I didn't. Okay. Okay.
No, you know,
I'm confused.
diversity of opinions. You know.
No, but like even if you
We'll
think
have,
it's
we'll have a whole podcast episode dedicated to Monarch. I'm not leaving this topic.
no, even if you do think Monarch is bad, it's still cool that they did something like a TV series.
Yeah.
At least they tried to do something with it, with that universe and stuff like that.
It shows that you can do something interesting without having the monsters consistently be in the episodes. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't like the story, but at least the 1950s, 60s, 70s, that storyline was prime. Like something even like that in a Godzilla story, I didn't even know I wanted, or I didn't
Yeah,
even think that they could kind of pull off in a TV format, especially where the monsters are not that they're not there. They're just like I expected that. Not I
yeah,
didn't want the monster, but like the drama is good enough. So if Jurassic can translate this, but a good human drama and a good story, we don't necessarily need dinosaurs like to be like assaulting us every episode. We can have like 2-3 episodes of just no dinosaurs, and that's saving your budget hugely.
Yeah, it shows Monarch shows that you can have a massive blockbuster movie franchise and then turn around and put a well-made series on a streaming service that ties into that ser- big. I mean, the MonsterVerse, those movies are fairly big. I don't know if all of them made $1 billion or anything, but like it's a big franchise. And so like Monarch proves that the concept of tying a series into something like that can be done well. And like Jurassic has maybe some more money flowing through it. Like maybe it's a little bit bigger deal in pop culture. Maybe I don't know.
That's the thing. It is like it's like Godzilla is like yeah, everyone knows Godzilla, but like Susie and Dan down the street, they're not going to be tuning in to go see Monarch because Godzilla's in it
yeah,
because they know who Godzilla is, right? But like they might
Yeah,
watch Jurassic Park because that was their favorite movie growing up as a kid, right?
yeah.
And
Everyone's heard
Jurassic
of
Park is a
Jurassic Park.
billion-dollar franchise, right? It's
Yeah,
so much bigger than a Godzilla movie can be, right? So that, like the fact that you haven't translated it yet is like kind of mind blowing. The fact that a smaller franchise with even worse reception is doing stuff that you should have already done is kind of telling how far behind Universal really is with this whole franchise game. Like the MonsterVerse movies, I don't think any of them have even cracked $500 million yet. And I think the reception has been like 78 as being like the highest or something on Rotten Tomatoes, right? So they're not like these giant movies, and they pulled off something that at the end of the day was very well received. Monarch is very well received, and people are going to be talking about it. It brought people into Apple. I'm sure it did. Like I started paying for Apple because of it,
yeah.
and yeah.
Apple
So yeah,
Apple produces some impressive. I've been impressed with some of the series Apple has done.
now I'm
Like
watching Ted Lasso because of Monarch. So now
yeah,
that's what Universal needs to do. Peacock is not doing so good, so like toss in a Jurassic. You might get some people, or make it
yeah.
available in Canada. Maybe why can't I watch Peacock? I don't know.
I think if Jurassic were gonna do a live action thing, I think they have a good relationship with Netflix because of Camp Cretaceous and stuff like that.
Yeah, you would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
that's true. Yeah.
and Netflix have a pretty good budget. So
So does Universal. Um,
yeah.
I have a question for you guys. There's been a lot of conversation about, and this is totally like steering in a completely different direction, but there's been a lot of conversation about what dinosaurs are going to be in Jurassic Park Survival, and as we're talking about a series in Jurassic Park and things like that. And Jayden mentioned a question earlier that I think is a good question, which is, do you think, how many raptors do you think we're going to see on the island in Jurassic Park Survival? Are we going to
Yeah.
see,
Excellent question.
are we going to see those raptors from the hatched eggs that Grant and Lex and Tim found in Jurassic Park? Are we going to see all those raptors around?
Yeah,
What do you guys
I
think?
didn't even think about those extra
yeah,
raptors,
I
dude.
was quite.
That's
I watched it the other day. I was like, hey, because we were talking in the last podcast that we did. We spoke about the one that was stuck in the freezer
Yep.
and
Mhm.
how maybe that got
she's
out.
getting out.
Yeah, so we spoke how the scientist, I forget her name roughly, but maybe she has like you know how Darius, how he feels sorry for Blue, wants to help her and stuff like that. Maybe she sees the raptor in the freezer, she's like, oh, I want to help, and then gets it out. Something happens, I don't know. You know what I mean? Has to run away from it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was one thing that I stumbled across this week was Grant finds a bunch of raptor eggs and sees the footprints go off. That's the end of that. We don't
But
hear
they'd be
about
really
those.
young though, and it wouldn't be like fully grown. I mean, they could be like we don't know how long they've been out. I guess it could have been
I
like
mean, yeah,
Not only that,
I
but look how fast Bumpy grew.
Yeah, the
Those are the
accelerated growth
hormones and
rates, but
yeah.
like I think baby raptors could probably still take me down. I don't know about
Yeah,
y'all, but
like juvenile raptors would be a cool thing to see, like
yeah.
going
But
at you or
if
whatever. But yeah,
wait, oh, so by the time this game comes out, two raptors are dead. There's only one raptor left in the freezer, right?
yeah,
And then all the babies, because
I would
life
only
found a way.
assume that they would use something similar to Alien Isolation, where they'd probably, if it's open world, they'd probably have areas where the Velociraptor like has there's probably one Velociraptor that's always following you, kind of like Alien Isolation, where the alien always follows you, and
Oh,
maybe like it swaps off with the Dilophosaurus, so maybe there's more Dilophosaur threats than raptors. I guess I don't know. I didn't really think about the number of animals. It's a problem, I guess.
I think it's gonna be a really interesting look at a side and a time of Isla Nublar that we've never seen before, and I think maybe there's gonna be a lot of unexpected dinosaurs that show up.
You got to do like the Herrerasaur or something, or
Yeah,
like a Baryonyx. You got to do something of the obscure stuff because like just not like just number wise of threats. Like there's one big T Rex. That can't be the threat for the whole game.
yeah.
Like when you go inside, what's the threat? Compies?
That is a good question. I
Dilophosaurus?
mean,
There's got to be something smaller. So Herrerasaur, right? It's got to be something obscure. You would
yeah,
think, right? Something tiny. Like there
totally.
has to be some sort of threat. I hope it's not like a level generated thing where like each like you load into a level and like in this level you got to escape the InGen lab, and then like a cutscene plays and it shows her transitioning to like the outside, and the next level loads up. It's like escape the laboratory parking lot, and then when you finish that, it's like another. You know what I mean? Like it's linear, but it's not open world, so it's like a segmented thing. If that's the case, they can kind of just throw whatever they want in there, and then I just don't know how they're gonna approach the world of this game, if that makes sense. It
No, that
completely affects how they place the animals and the threats in the world.
yeah, no, totally. There's a video up on the Jurassic Outpost channel this week where we speculate about what dinosaurs might show up and why and like what the story might be to get you to those dinosaurs and all of those things. So check that out. But as we head towards the end of this podcast, just a couple of little news things I want to mention quickly. We were talking about Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory. The composer of those shows, Leo Berenberg, just won an Emmy for his with his scoring partner, Zach Robinson, for the Weird Al movie. So congrats
Heck yeah.
to them, and
woo!
can't wait to hear more Jurassic music. But also, there are some new toys showing up on the shelves. The Isla Sorna Expedition Pack from Beyond the Gates has been showing up with the awesome engine Unimog, Dieter Stark, Velociraptor. The new Barry from Jurassic World ATV Chase Pack is showing up in stores. And it looks really cool. I think it's really cool that set exists. So thanks, Mattel. But and also some new Hammond collection toys are showing up. The Dimetrodon and Owen and Blue, those are showing up. So yeah, lots of cool Jurassic stuff going on. 2024 is going to be a fun year for Jurassic, with an animated sequel series, with maybe a video game. I don't know, and who knows what else. It's continuing the 30th year of Jurassic Park, and it's continuing Jurassic World, that story a little bit. So it's a good time to be a Jurassic fan, right? So any final words, Jayden, Asees? Any final Jurassic words?
I would say that this is probably the real 30th anniversary this year. And sorry, Jack, if this podcast has been scuffed with a lot of segues.
Have fun with this one, Jack.
Yeah.
And I want to say this has been good. I'm good to get back in the swing of things. Let's hope for a movie announcement this year to keep things rolling in the in betweens, and yeah, let's hope for a big year, boys and girls.
Yeah, absolutely. I want all the Jurassic to happen. So I'm excited for 2024. Happy New Year. Thanks, Jayden. Thanks, Asees, for talking Jurassic. Thanks for listening, if you're listening. And we will see you on the next episode of the InGeneral podcast.
Bye-bye.
Hello there.
Hello.